What's new, 802? I'm Becca Hammond, and you're listening to Vermont Talks. Vermont Talks may include graphic or explicit content. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Vermont Talks. It is the 73rd episode. It is the 18th of August in 2026 on a Tuesday, and I'm here today with Owen Leavey. Owen was voted the best art photographer in Vermont in 2025 and again nominated in 2026. Owen is also the front person of MOMDAD, all caps, no space, who recently released their first album, Mother, Father. No space in that one either. Yeah. MOMDAD was also nominated as one of the best bands in Vermont for the 7 Daisies Awards, which any local knows is a very big deal.
Sure.
Congrats, Owen, on all of that. And I'm super excited to talk to you today.
I'm pumped. I've been listening to this for a while, so I'm excited to talk with you.
You have such beautiful artwork. I want to just start with that. Your photography is, okay, it's moving, it's fluid, it's colorful, it's just incredibly beautiful. I'm not shocked that you won a 7 Daisies for that. I would love to talk about all of the things you do, though. Yeah. So we're going to start at the beginning. Where are you from originally?
Originally from New York, outside the city. But then when I was like 7, I moved to Stowe. So I grew up in Vermont mostly. I call myself a Vermonter because I've earned that right. And now I live up in St. Albans, which I kind of love.
Yeah, I love St. Albans
It's
too.
really cute.
That's amazing. I love that you've been here as long as you have.
Yeah.
You play keyboard / piano,
Yeah.
and you sing, and you are extremely talented at both of those things. And
stop that.
obviously, you are an amazing photographer. So when did you pick up these hobbies in your life?
Well, the funny thing is that almost all of the things that I do constantly now, I never got any formal training in. So I picked up piano in high school when I just was doing that like annoying high school theater kid thing where you play like 3 chords on the piano and you learn like that one Adele song. And I think it's Someone Like You is the one that everybody knows. But no, so I just started playing piano in high school. I've been singing since like 5th grade just because I like it. But then on the photography side of things, I started photography in high school, but I hated it. I did not like it at all.
As an official class?
Yeah, like as a class, like it interested me, and that's why I took the class. And my dad was the one that was like, "Oh, you have such a good eye for photography." He's not a photographer at all, but he was like, "You have a good eye for it. You need to keep doing it." So he bought me like a little Canon Rebel for graduation. But in high school, I hated photography. So that was sort of where it all just started as just me being interested in things, like creative outlets. And then it grew from there, truly, just very organically.
In terms of the music, were you in official bands when you were a kid?
No. So I had very little to no performance exposure outside of doing theater until like later in high school. My best friend's dad is a singer-songwriter in Stowe, Jeff Nicholson, and he used to host little like music parties in his backyard. And I would like play a song or two at those. And that was the most experience I had. And then I started moving away from guitar and into piano. And I would attend more of these backyard parties where there were so few keyboard players. And so everybody would be like, "Oh, come sit in on this song with us." And you learn very quickly when somebody gives you little to no information about the song you're about to play and just asks you to play the piano. They're all just like kind old men that are good at music. And so that was where I kind of got into performing. And then I tried to, when it comes to like band music scene, and then I tried to put like a project together a couple different times. But it never really stuck. It never really grew.
It's so hard. I think it's incredible when anyone in their early 20s or a teenager manages to make a band and play out and have it not sound insane.
No, correct. No, and when the closest thing that we ever got was me and my now bassist Eamon, which is really cute because he's been playing with me for years. I love that boy. And his friend Shane on guitar. Shane now lives in New York, but the trio of us had played a couple gigs. You know, we played like Drink and Despacito when it was around, and
Nice.
like little tiny things here and there. But that was the closest we ever got to like band. Yeah.
Was it under the same name?
It was not. It was.
You don't have to say if you don't want to bring
No,
up
I don't know. I don't think we had a name. You know,
Okay,
I don't like. I think
fair.
it was like Owen and Owen, like single name like Adele Madonna. Owen like with Shane and Eamon. You know, like,
Right.
I don't think it was ever. I don't think it ever had a name until MOMDAD.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
I am not surprised when you said you did theater.
Yeah.
That tracks. When you say, "Oh, I wasn't formally trained in music or photography,"
that's the only thing I am formally trained in. So I went to school. I went to a conservatory in Manhattan for musical theater after I graduated high school. So I do have some formal vocal training, but that's more on the theater side of things, which is so different from like singing in a band. But I did learn a ton, and a lot of my stage charisma comes from theater. So
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's so well put together in terms of a performance,
thank you.
and like clearly you knew what you were doing, or you have some magical gift, because it's almost like you've arranged everything. The MOMDAD shows that I've gone to, like, you clearly have talked these things through with the band. Also, the band is so incredible.
They're so good.
Watching each of you solo,
Yep.
it's one of those moments where, like, wow, these guys actually know what they're doing.
No, and we have to try to solo. Like I try to incorporate that the longer version of that song with solos, as many gigs as possible, because you don't often get to, like, I don't know. I want to show everybody in the band off because they're so good. Every single member is so talented, and I'm so enamored by their work that I was like, any opportunity I can have to feature each one, and not just in solo sections, but like in songs. I want people to have moments where they shine above everything else.
The cello intro.
Oh my gosh, the cello all the time.
Love it.
All
Love
the
it.
time.
I don't want to just gush about MOMDAD the whole time. Because,
No, that's fine. We totally can. I love that. I love them.
But I can also, interestingly, see your aesthetic and your approach to just presentation and your artwork as well. It's and you have such good taste.
Thank you. Stop. Thank you. No, I learned very early on. I don't really remember how or when, but I learned very early on that it is the aesthetic equivalent of fake it till you make it, right? Like, having a good website where people can go and see your portfolio, or having an Instagram presence that like, not even by each post, but like when you're just looking at an Instagram page, it's got to look fun and cool and enticing, you know?
Right.
And like, those are the things that make the difference. Like, I have my, it's a Roland RD88. It's like a fairly normal stage keyboard. It's nothing fancy. But I built this like wooden cover that goes over the keyboard that now a lot of people have grown to really like. But it was because I was a little bit self-conscious about not having a fancy keyboard. And I was like, well, what can I do that's going to cost me next to nothing? And it makes all the difference now, because people see it and they're like, oh, that's cool. I wonder what kind of keyboard that is. Like, that's fancy.
Right.
So it's those little things here and there that just like make a huge difference on how you're just perceived in general in the world. Like, if you look super professional, people are going to be like, oh, that band's real deal. You know?
Right. It's really interesting to think about that from like, oh, if you're an aspiring artist.
Sure, yeah.
The confidence.
Oh, 100%.
You have that stage presence is wild. That first time I saw you play, because everyone was talking about MOMDAD. I was like, okay, cool. I get to experience this. And I was kind of shocked because most bands, you can feel their anxiety on stage. You can feel them rushing. You can feel their nerves. It's a very hard thing to walk on the stage and own it in a way where everyone turns to you and is like, you are clearly here to make a statement right now. And what advice do you give people? Do you fake the confidence, or do you actually have that comfort in yourself?
So I personally am lucky to have that. Like, I wouldn't say level of confidence, but that level of comfort. I've never been afraid of performing. However, I'm not just saying this to be modest, but it makes so much of a difference when you surround yourself on stage with people that are not only skilled, but people that you like and people that you trust. Because it's like, when we go up on stage, and I have thankfully very much heard that this comes across, but when we go on stage, we're having fun with each other. Like, we're like, my highlight personally of playing with MOMDAD is the playing. Like, I just like the group. Like, we could have a huge crowd, we could have no crowd. And even at rehearsals, I love playing with everybody in that group. Every individual is so talented. And it does feel like we're like missing a piece if someone's not able to make it to the gig or whatever. And like, but that's my advice. My advice is to find people you trust. Don't just blindly trust people, but find people that you trust, find people that you like, and find people that trust and respect you too, right? Like, this whole group, I mean, I've been so lucky that they've just like welcomed all of my weird creative thoughts, and they've just like taken them, made them their own, and threw them right back into the pot for contribution. And it's cool. So that's my thing, is that, like, sure, pretend that you have the confidence. And that's so easy to do online, like on social media and stuff. You can like post something as if you are the best. And so that's a lot easier. But you really do have to surround yourself with people that make you feel comfortable.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
That's like super solid advice.
And I've lived by that my whole life. That I learned there's always going to be somebody that is better than you at something, and you should become friends with them and learn from them. Like, like it's,
Yeah, great advice, because that's it. You guys have such, like, it feels like, just like you said, you feel like you're comfortable with each other, like you're having fun. I love your little shout outs to each other. Not even when you're introducing the bandmates, but even just like randomly in the songs, there are moments you like look at each other and you can just tell you're enjoying yourselves.
There's one moment, and if you ever come see us live, or if you have seen us live, there's one moment in one of our songs, JoJo, where we do these hits where there's silence in between. And if we all hit at the same time and we do it well, I usually shout an exclamation. I'm like, hey! And if we don't hit, you won't hear me shout. It's been a long time since I haven't shouted, but like everybody in the band almost like looks to it. They're like, did we do it? We did it. Because he shouted, hey! So it's really funny.
How long did it take you to get from we are officially a band, we've got all our members, to finishing Mother Father?
Well, and it's funny because I had someone recently ask me how long it took me to write the album. And I'll loop back around to the question in a second because it makes sense. And I was like, that is an impossible question to answer because like some of these songs I've been tinkering with for 6-7 years now. And some of these songs I wrote a month before we recorded, and so much of it was changed by the group, as like having other musicians work on music together. It's like, it changes everything. And for us in the best way. But started rehearsing about a month or two before our first gig, which was August 9th of 2024. August 9th of 2025, so a year ago.
Really?
Yeah, we're brand new.
Wow.
I know. And our first gig was in New Hampshire at one of the backyard music festivals that I like to play. And then as soon as we had done that, and we then came and played, Radio Bean was our first gig in Vermont that we were pumped about. And like, once I had played a few gigs with this group, and once we had realized that like we really liked each other, this was the group that was going to stay, we're not going to change and stuff, I started the process of like, how are we going to record something that we can send to venues, that we can send to touring bands, that we can send to other people, just to like get more gigs. And when I started talking with Stephen Yardley, who ended up producing our album, we sort of just decided that if we were gonna record anything, we may as well just do the whole thing. And so we got together 8.5 of our best songs, 8.5 of our only songs. And I say the half because there was one song that, even to the day we recorded it, we weren't really 100% sure. Ended up being a banger. So we started that in the winter. Recording took a while just because the studio setup was not set up for isolated drums and stuff. So we had to like kind of do everything by itself. So that took a while. And then mixing and producing it, we kind of sat on it for a while just because everybody was so busy at the time.
Yeah.
When it came to mixing and releasing. And then when we got the message from Radio Bean that was like, hey, we'd love to host your album release show, we need to schedule a date. That was when we picked our release date. And so I would say about a year, because our first gig was August 9th, and then our album release was August 8th the next year.
You actually are one day.
No, and that was one of there were a lot of reasons why we picked that date. It was a Saturday. It was almost a year. It also was my birthday, but that's just a Leo thing to do.
Awesome.
But it was the best way to spend my birthday. But yeah, so about a year. And do I wish that we had been playing these songs for 3 or 4 years before we recorded them? Of course, because you learn things about the songs when you play them live.
Yeah.
But I'm super happy with how the album came out.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm so impressed that you guys did this fast, because it sounds so well composed. Like, truly, some of those bass lines, I'm just like, oh, this is wicked.
Eamon Lynch. We could have done this whole interview about how much I love that boy. He's so talented. And it wasn't until I was starting to get some of the final mixes back from our producer that I was like, oh my God, like he's doing magic on some of these songs. And cause like it's so hard to like pick out the bass line sometimes until you're paying attention for it. Otherwise, like, and he does this thing where it's like, you don't notice how magic it is until you're paying attention to it. Otherwise it blends, which is so crazy.
Yeah, his rhythm is, every time I've seen him, I'm like, man, this guy's got wicked rhythm, and he's so solid at it, and it's smooth.
No, it's so smooth. And I one of our most popular songs, one of our singles, Write Me Rachel. And I wrote that song for him. I wrote the bass lick for him. And it was one of those things where it's like, I looked at him and I was like, here's the thing. And he was like, okay. And he just like played it almost immediately. And meanwhile, like, shout out to Jackie from Leatherbound Folks. She's our bass sub. And she still can't figure out how Eamon plays that. Like, especially as easily as he does. He's gifted. He's a very gifted musician. I'm so lucky to have him.
Yeah. magic band. I am so impressed that you guys got nominated for a 7 Days.
Yeah,
less than a year.
No, I think
How?
Because we all know that the 7 Days is like a little bit of it's a popularity contest, but that still doesn't mean but we are not nearly as popular as a lot of local bands that didn't get nominated. And I think I'll say this: I was flattered in the same way that we're flattered by a lot of the people who come to our shows. Because right off the bat, we have had at least a handful of people, and in Burlington, a handful is a lot in this case, but at least a handful of people that come to almost every show. They're just dedicated. They knew our songs, before the album was released. And so those are the same types of people that are going to go out of their way to add your name in for a vote for a contest. So the small, strong following we have is the best. They're so mighty and so sweet. Yeah.
Love it.
I know.
I get all
all
choked up about local music and the scene.
No, it's and right now it's we're at such a peak right now. We're at such a beautiful place right now because it's you're hard pressed to find a band in Burlington that doesn't support other bands. And, it's because the ones that don't are ostracized so quickly. If you're not nice and friendly to everybody, nobody wants to book you. And I'm so happy that we're at that sort of place in Burlington where it's most of the excitement when you're going to play a gig is the other bands you're getting to play with.
Yeah.
You're just pumped about the lineup. You're okay, cool, wherever we play, whatever, I don't care, whatever night it is. But we get to play with all of these people and it's so cool.
I agree. The groups of people who actually come out to shows are often other musicians.
Yes.
And they're so wonderful.
And that's the best crowd. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love it.
Yep.
This is a silly question this late in the game. What genre do you define MOMDAD as?
Okay, so I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people about this. And I'll preface it by saying one of our goals as a band, mostly my goal for the band, but they all agree, is to cover a huge swath of genres. But do it all sort of with the lens or the filter that is whatever MOMDAD is. And I think the glue that binds those is the writing and also the musicians themselves. Because everybody's so talented, right? Sarah, our cellist, she comes from a classical background. She has no experience playing in bands. This is her first band ever. I'm blown away by her. So she's sort of this fresh blank page and she's down to play whatever, try different things, be weird, be kooky about it. Eamon, we've already talked about him. He's gifted. Matthew, our drummer, he comes from a jazz background, but then also has a punk band, and then our guitarist, Sean, also a fascinating story. This is the first band that he's played electric guitar for. He's usually a drummer and he has played acoustic guitar in other bands.
Interesting.
So he's finding his style within MOMDAD as well. And I don't have enough formal training to be glued to any specific style, which is kind of nice. So to answer your question, when a venue asks, I tell them pop funk.
I love that.
But because obviously there's so much pop influence. We are very pop influenced because we really like the catchy stuff. We really like the song structures that for the most part are traditional. But then I say funk because I
some of those bass lines.
And some of those bass lines. Yeah. And, it's and I've always been a huge fan of Scary Pockets. But there's definitely jazz influence. There's definitely, I'm working on a grunge rock song right now, which is crazy that I ever thought I would write something like that. And I should probably be ashamed to even call it grunge rock because it's probably far from it.
Grunge with the cello is going to be
She has a distortion pedal for it. It's yes. Nasty. I love it.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
This makes me feel better because I was like, this band is so eclectic, and that's you can feel the jazz moments.
Sure.
Like, there's all these like it's not soul music, but soulful music. Where I'm like, wow, this is so like emotional. I feel things.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the soul comes a lot from. I listen to a lot of soul music, and I listen to like a lot of really soulful stuff, and so like. That's where I get a lot of my vocal influence from.
Wicked vocals, too.
Thank you.
I have to say that for the audience. Like,
no, thank you.
Ooh, this band.
No, but you're not the first person that has struggled with genre for us. Me and Fisher and Adriana from Adriana and the Bananas and Fisher from Fisher in the Flood and We're Here to Kill. Is you're familiar with? The three of us sat around lunch one day trying to describe each other's genres. And it was a fascinating conversation. But
genre is incredibly confusing. 100%. I find it to be, that's one of those things. You try and explain your band to somebody, you've got to come up with a genre term.
In one of our bios, I write, like, quote, quote, like, call it whatever you want. We call it MOMDAD. Because that's what it is. Well, because the other thing, and I think the pop makes it all accessible, right? Because you have like a jazzy song, but the fact that there's a lot of pop influence, it makes it feel like music that like feels welcoming to listen to, and you're like, oh, I could get down with this, even if it's not necessarily your genre.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of iconic for that. It sticks in your head so much. Write Me Rachel was so stuck in my head for like a month. I kept thinking about that song. Like I just kept going back to it.
Well, thank you. I'm flattered.
Like, why is it so catchy? I don't know.
I don't know either.
It is.
I couldn't tell you. If you wanted that advice, couldn't give you the answer.
It's some magic sauce.
Sure. Repetition, I guess. I don't know. But
maybe that's it.
Simplicity, repetition.
Is there a favorite song that you have on the album?
Yes, and I know it's a song that you probably want to talk about. Anyways, it's called Something Like You, and it is the song that is about my kitties. It's about my kitty cats. I've got 2 cats, Mama and Baby. They're biological mother and daughter. They're everything to me. I know they're perfect. They're like they don't bite. They want to be on everybody's lap. They're like the best kitties ever. And when I adopted them, it was like in the heat of COVID, and I would play, and I had also just moved into like a house that was isolated. So like I could be as loud as I wanted to, and they never seemed to mind loud music or the piano or whatever. They would just sit there and fall asleep to the vibrations of it. And so I was like, I got to write a song about these kitty cats. And that was a song that I think I wrote in like a day, because I was just like infatuated with these girls. And then huge shout out again to Steve Yardley, who produced the album years ago. I brought that song to him when we workshopped it. And there's like a lot of little nuances here and there that were a product of my working with him on that song. And then on the album, you can hear Mama, who's my kitty. At the very end of the song, we did a recording of her purring, because I was like, it needs to be in there. My cats need to be eternalized in the song.
So sweet.
I love them.
It's funny because the first time I heard it, I think you said after you played it that it was about your cat.
Yeah. Well, so originally it was discussed. Okay, so there's a song by Ingrid Michaelson that is about her mother passing away of cancer, but she disguised it as a love song, and because she didn't want the song to be like that. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to write a song about my cats, but I'm going to disguise it as a love song. And so that's the thing, is that like when you really listen to it, you're like, oh, I guess that is some weird things that you would say about like a romantic partner, but the whole feel of it feels like this like beautiful like love, and it is a love. It's just like the love for my kitty cats.
It feels like a love ballad.
Yeah.
I think that you have a lot of keyboard motion going on in that.
Yeah,
song.
that is, and that's also one of the most stripped back songs on the album. There's like very little effect or kind of weird mixing or layering on top of it. It's really just the instruments and the singing, because it is a very pure song.
It's so powerful.
They're very loved. They're very well loved kitties.
So good. That's it. I think when I heard it, I thought about my cats. And then every now and then when I'm like loving up my cat, I think about your song.
Good. No one writes love songs for cats. No one writes love songs for cats, and we need more of those, because those girls have gotten me through a lot of stuff.
They're there for you. They're musically supportive.
100%. And it like ended up being this like epic, like U2-esque ballad. And I was so happy with that. But we like playing it. We usually end the show on it. Just because it's a nice one to go out on.
So happy that this album exists now. I haven't gotten to listen to it, which I'm embarrassed to admit.
Oh,
right
no,
now,
that's fine.
Because that's it. I love your live work so much. And I've got to say, your live sets, you guys are so rock solid that there wasn't a huge amount of difference between the first one and the second one that I saw, which consistency is king.
Well, and our drummer said it best, because I had just sent the album out, like pretty much in its entirety, complete, to the band to listen to finally. And I got this text from Matthew. Sorry, Matthew, for outing you, but he was like, "We sound better live." And he was like, "But it's a damn good album." And I was like, I really liked that, because I love the concept that you love a band's music and then you go to see them, and it is more, and it is special. And there is reason to go see that band live over just listening to their music. Because then you can sing along, but there are also these moments where, you know, we amp it up a little bit or we do something different, and then it's just engaging and fun. And
the life of a show, that energy
that
you can feed off. Yeah. Well, that's it. You can't capture stage presence.
No,
in an album. You never can.
Even a live album, you can't.
You can come close.
Yeah, you can come close, depending on the band, depending on the crowd, and depending on the engineer. But it's tough and probably costs a lot of money.
Yes, definitely. Do you send people to Bandcamp for the album?
I do and I don't. And this is something that I think a lot of local musicians struggle with, is that Bandcamp is obviously the ideal. Like, it's amazing, right? Like, the artists get funds, people can buy things straight there, they can interact. Like, it's a good platform. That's actually where we sell our merch. But then at the same time, it's so hard, but like, you have to deal with those evils out there, like the big streaming services. And so, like, we are on Spotify, and we are on Apple Music, and we are on all of the ones that don't really treat artists very well. But it's a matter of accessibility, because some people, that's just not, I mean, yeah, I would say we like to say go listen wherever you listen to music.
Yeah, fair. Do you have a dedicated website for the band?
We have, no, I mean, we have our Instagram that has our link tree, and that has everything. So, like, and all of them combined, like, whatever you're looking for, you can usually just find it in our link tree, whether it's our electronic press kit or our Instagram or our place where you can buy the vinyl or whatever.
Your press kit is good too.
Did you look at it?
Yeah, yes, I did. I read your bio that you got. Just what you said earlier about do it professionally, put your best foot forward, make it.
It just takes a little bit of elbow grease. It really does. And I will say, elbow grease, but it also takes time, which I know not a lot of people have that luxury. I don't have that luxury, but I'm a wackadoo, and I will do way too much all the time. And then it also does take access to technology, which I know is also really limited. And it also takes skill sets. I have a background in digital media, so I understand how to navigate a lot of these website softwares, all of these things. But the other thing is that I have and will continue to offer this kind of stuff to other people who need it. It's like as much as we do all this stuff for ourselves, I try to help out other artists as much as possible when they need it. I love making aesthetic posters for shows. And there was one time we were playing, I think it was Radio Bean, and I sent the poster to Jackie Leatherbound Books, who was also in the bill. And she texted me back. She was like, "You made this?" She was like, "Did you use AI?" And I was like, "No, I made it all from scratch." And she was like, "Damn, I love it." And I was like, "Sick." So I love doing that kind of stuff. But sorry, I could ramble for forever.
Oh, that's wonderful. I could go on a whole rant about this too, because I love doing stuff.
Yeah,
like
no,
this.
I know, because you're also,
artists.
I know we're interviewing me, but you're a visual artist and your work is really sick.
Oh, thank you.
And it's really cool. I've looked at your stuff.
Oh no.
No, I know. No. Oh no.
We're talking about you.
You're a multimedia artist. Anyways.
Well, to round it out, because I
Sure.
wanted to bring it back to your photography.
Yeah.
Is so powerful.
Thank you. For those of folks who haven't seen any of my photography or will not go look at it, I do a lot of creative studio portraiture. That's what I call it. I really as much as I love natural light, I love artificial light. I love art, or I love light that you can use as a tool in the medium. The same as you would a smudger and charcoal or whatever. It's just another way to paint. And so I like painting with light. But I also am not interested in photographing anything that's not people.
Yeah, right. You always have a human.
Yeah, because I love working with people, and I'm really, really grateful actually that, and I hope to be an example to a lot of people that photography is by no means my full-time job. And yet it is not only super fulfilling, it has been lucrative, and also has opened a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities for me. But I don't resent it because I don't rely on it financially. And that's right. Because financial reliance breeds resentment. And I never, ever want to resent photography because I love it so much. I like colors. I love shapes. One of my personal missions is to kind of highlight gender diversity, racial diversity, age diversity, all of it. I want every different body, shape, size, color, gender under the sun, if possible. Because it's so often that only the skinny white cis people that are beautiful, conventionally beautiful, are the subjects of photography. And that's such a shame, because there's so many incredible models that do not fit that brief. And sure, if you look at my Instagram, there are a lot of hot cis white people. But those are the people that want to do photo shoots. And so I do them with them. And then I go out of my way often to find the more physically diverse folks. But
okay, so OwenLeavey.com.
Yes.
Your name spelled out. How did you find all of these people? Did these people reach out to you directly? Did you just happen to say, you know what, we should do a shoot?
Well, so I have a rule of thumb that I won't, unless you pay me, I won't do a shoot with someone I don't enjoy working with. It doesn't matter your skill. It doesn't matter your following. If I don't find you interesting, or if I don't think that we'll work well together, won't shoot. So it is a huge mixed bag, right? Shout out to Katniss Everqueer, drag burlesque performer in the area. She has been a long-term muse for me. She inspires a lot of shoots. And so it's a mixed bag. Usually I either get an idea for a shoot and then I try to find a person that would fit, or I see a person and I'm like, oh, that makes me want to do this, which is often what happens with Katniss. And then the third type, which you've brought up, is like people reaching out to me and being like, hey, I've got this weird idea. And I'm like, let's hear it. And if it intrigues me in the slightest, odds are I'll do it. And I like to go big. I like to go visually striking. I don't do a ton of editing. It's almost all in camera stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's one of the things that I'm actually like, if I had to not be humble / be proud about something, it's that. Like, sure, I've done some editing and obviously I do like color and light adjustments.
Right.
But aside from that, I barely know how to use Photoshop. It's so much more fun for me to have everything almost in the shot, like the minute I have it.
This is really impressive. If anyone's seen Owen's work, there's a lot going on in the photo. Like when they say art photographer, they're not joking about the art part of this.
Well, no, and like that one shoot that we kind of mentioned earlier. There's a shoot that was my friend. Her name is Yasmin, and she's beautiful. She's another one of my muses, but it's based on the album by Ray. This music may contain hope, and so it's like we brought in AstroTurf. And we brought in red curtains, and I made a giant cloud out of like batting and spray paint and shit. And we bought this like big thick rope, and like, so all of it was real there in person, which like also just helps dictate and inform the shots themselves. Because like when you're shooting on like a green screen or whatever, and like you're adding all of that stuff in post, that's some people's like forte. That's some people's cup of tea. But for me, it's not at all. I like the building and I like the making. And then sometimes I'll have an idea for a shoot and it will just be as vague as shipping. Like, because I did this shoot with Katniss recently where I was just like, I want to do like shipping materials. And she was like, okay, whatever. And it ended up being like one of my photographer friends, Derek Marcy. It's like one of his favorite shots I've ever taken. And it's just like her and she's like, wrapped in bubble wrap, and there's like packing peanuts and cardboard, and it's like, and I think she's wearing big fragile stickers as pasties.
Nice.
Or she's like covering her breast. Like it's, but all in all, it was just like such a random idea that ended up just being such a beautiful shoot. And those are some of my favorites for sure.
So cool. So interesting. And you take all of these shots in Winooski. Is that right? Pretty
much. I mean, there's a handful. I will say, because I went to school in New York, I have a lot of community there. And there are some incredible photo studios that you can rent in the city for a pretty reasonable price. And so I would say probably 3 or 4 times a year, I'll go down to the city and I'll do 5 or 6 shoots like in one weekend and like just like do a bunch of cool stuff with models. And like those are usually the shoots where like the model has like a bigger following or whatever, and we're, mutuals on Instagram, and like it's a little bit more transactional, but like in a way that is supporting everybody, and in a way that like everybody's having fun and we're getting excited about it. Some of my favorite shoots have come out of that. But yeah, a lot of my work is right here in Vermont. I had this project. Oh, you'll love this because Vermont talk. I had this project, if you scroll back a little while back, where I was going out to places in Vermont that were like visually striking. And I was bringing a model and usually like my studio lighting equipment and like a mini generator and everything. And we would go out on site and do a shoot in nature in Vermont, but lit like it would be in a studio. And my favorite one out of all of those was the model was sitting, it was Moss Glen Falls, I think, in like the Stowe, Morrisville area. And we lugged all of the equipment out and like almost lost stuff in the river and all of that. And like to set up this gorgeous shot where the model's like sitting in the middle of the waterfall. But like, you don't see stuff like that all the time because like, where do you see a waterfall with like studio lighting? Because like, who's dumb enough to do that? Me, I've done it. I like we had to like, we were wedging the stands with big rocks so that the wind from the waterfall wouldn't blow them away. It was stuff like that. It's like, who is dumb enough to do that? It's me. And the art that comes out of it is some of my favorite art. So
that sounds incredibly cool.
It was fun.
Yeah, the lighting control is everything in photography.
Exactly. And like when you can go out into a place where people are so used to seeing natural light and you can just change the entire perspective on something because you have full control over the light in the situation. Because we did this also like at dusk. So like we were lugging all this waterfall shit around at like 8 p.m. and it was dark and my model was an absolute trooper because it was freezing cold water. Even though it was summer, it's still cold. And like, that's like, I love playing with light. I really do. It's like my favorite thing in the world.
I'm honestly impressed that I haven't seen like album covers that you have taken photos of because it has that kind of aesthetic.
Sure.
It's got that stage presence in the photography.
I've had a couple people. I've done at least band promo photos for a couple bands in the area. I've done, if you've seen a lot of like the iTraps promo photos, portraits of them, I did those, and I also did some of Leatherman books recently. But I have a couple of artists, especially now that MOMDAD has been on the scene. I've had a couple artists reach out to me saying like, for my next project, I want, I'm going to reach out or whatever. But there are also so many incredible photographers in the area that do that kind of work really well. Luke Autry being one of them. His album photo work is so beautiful. And I've been trying to promote Derek Marcy every which way I can because that kid is so talented. He's one of my best friends now.
What's his name on?
Derek
socials?
Marcy Photo.
Okay. I don't think I've heard his name before.
He is wonderful. If you've seen live performance shots of MOMDAD, he probably took them.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So like if anybody wants to find Derek Marcy, I mean, we'll try to include his handle, but you can just go to our Instagram. We've tagged him in like everything. But it is funny because the first photo that I've taken that has ever been used as an album cover is our album cover.
Oh, really?
It's a photo I took. So leaning into like how I like practical stuff, like you very easily, somebody who knew their way around Photoshop probably could have made our album cover completely in Photoshop. But all of that is real. Like the water droplets are like resin droplets that I made and cured. And like, all of the different stuff. The only thing that's edited on there is the title and MOMDAD. Otherwise, all those photos like I took. So it was nice to have that in my back pocket.
Yeah, very nice. That's so cool. I find, because I'm not a photographer, I love the clicking. I love point and click. I'm not an editor by any means. Photography is such an interesting field of work where you can find such interesting little niches.
Yeah.
And not go outside of it at all. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to, you don't need to. Yeah. I think a lot of people kind of, as soon as they hear photographer, they're like, wedding photographer.
Yeah.
That's just what they think.
100%. And it took me years to figure out what my photography looked like. Like I have portraits from I think as far back as like 2017, 2018. And I like laugh at them now, not because they're bad, but because I was like, who was I pretending to be with these photos? And I found that I found my style more when I just leaned more into what I liked and what was interesting to me. And working with people that I liked and not letting anything inhibit the execution of wild ideas, right? Like if you have a wild idea, just fucking, I'm sorry.
You're good.
If you have a wild idea, just go for it. I can't believe this is the first time I cursed this time. you just go for it. Do the best you can. And if you don't achieve whatever goal that is, it's literally the stupid saying about shoot for the moon and land among the stars, that whole thing. Because truly, like I would say solidly half of the shoots that I have posted, shared, used professionally have not looked how I anticipated they would. Because my style is so in the moment, as opposed to a lot of photographers who, if they're doing creative studio portraiture, they have something so specific in mind. And they'll do basically anything they can to achieve that exact vision. And I respect that so much, but I don't have that ability in my brain to do that. I'm way more interested in finding the weird shit that happens on the day of.
Right, in the moment, that natural thing. Yeah, I can see where it coming, because it's portraiture, but it's so creative. I think a lot of photographers, myself included, if I'm taking a picture of you, I feel less creative license.
Sure.
So it's an interesting mindset to get into, of using someone within that scope.
Yeah. Well, and I just recently, I got a text from another photographer I know that was asking me about posing. And I do very little posing. I don't like to pose models, because I think that just loses any sense of authenticity. And I mean, like, there are styles in which you want those poses, you want that, like, in a good way, an authentic look. It's like, it's art. But for me, you can ask almost anybody that I've shot with that I start with, I'm like, just do whatever. If I see something I like, I'll be like, oh, do more of that. But yeah, it is interesting. And it is a fine art in and of itself, trying to figure out how to pick up a camera in between you and someone else and not have anything change. Right? Because when we're sitting here talking, it's one thing. The minute I pick up a camera in between us, the whole dynamic changes.
Yes.
And navigating that has been one of the craziest journeys and lessons I've learned in photography. 100%.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes you probably aren't expecting it to suddenly jar, because you know these people.
Yeah. No, and it's true. And I do a lot of like headshot sessions because I love those. And it is true. I often tell people, I'm like, in your brain, try to break down what changes between when we're chatting and then when I take a picture of you, because there should be no difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should just chat with me as if the camera's not there. Again, shout out to Luke Autry. He's really good at taking pictures of people and having them just sort of play along and do whatever. I don't know if it's his demeanor or if it's his charisma or whatever it is. Total strangers. And they're like, yeah, sure. Hi. And then they'll say it's crazy. But
there's definitely something to that. Even any recording device.
Yeah.
Video and
photography
is very... It's hard, right? It's hard to get in front of a camera.
Yes.
It's uncomfortable. Even coming on the podcast, I have gotten in the habit of starting the recording very early.
Yeah.
And then we'll just get into it naturally, because I used to have that moment where they'd watch me hit the record button and then go,
and then they freeze up. And then the other thing that happens is that when you go listen back, you're like, oh God, I hate the way I sound when I'm talking.
They get very stiff.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is just a byproduct of how messed up our society is and how we are trained to hate the way we look and hate the way that we sound. And it's so crazy. It's so crazy. This is absolutely a little tiny story worth telling, that like a photographer that I really love, she put out a TED Talk called Why You Look Bad in All of Your Photos or whatever. And one of the things that she does is that she has everybody take a selfie how they would normally take a selfie, like smiling, take it at the right angle and everything. And then she had them all put their phones at their stomach and to look down over their phone and take a selfie. And she was like, look at these two pictures. What changed between these two pictures? Nothing. Nothing changed except for the way that you're seeing yourself. And I love that concept. And I love that, it's just that, like, my goal is to help people feel more beautiful when they look at themselves in photos, because I don't think it should be traumatic. I don't think it should be scary, but it often is for people, and I think that's super, super unfortunate.
Agreed. 100% agree. What you said about it being society's fault.
100%.
We're all trying. I always think it's funny the amount of people who I can't sing. I can't sing.
You can sing.
Who told you couldn't sing? People always say that. I'm
you
like,
can sing. You may not know how, but
and people who can carry a tune will so quickly say that, unless there's someone willing to go out and play as a musician and call themselves a musician. They can't sing. Who told you that? Believe in yourself.
And also like look at all the people who you sing better than that are mega famous.
Yes.
Madonna can't sing. I mean, she can sing. Sorry. She can sing. And she can actually probably sing pretty well. But like, I bet you there's 10 people in this town that can sing significantly more beautifully than Madonna. And they are people that maybe have never sung in front of anybody ever in their lives. So I agree with you. 100%. 100%.
I like it. I like it a lot. I love your approach to photography.
Thank you.
We are pretty far in. I think we're...
Right.
Is there anything that we should cover that we haven't talked about yet before we start rattling off event details and or links?
I don't think so. Other than I will say that there is a woman, her name is Hillary Doobie. She's a photographer. She's the reason why I'm at the point where I am today, right? For a myriad of reasons. But the number one was that one day I took a chance and I emailed her directly. I asked if I could be a second photographer on some weddings that she does. I was like, I think I'm at the point where I could do this. You know, I just sent that email out and she took me in and she welcomed me and she taught me. And so it's sort of this thing that like goes both ways, that I want everybody to not be afraid to reach out to people, to learn or to share what your worth is. But then also that I personally, I can't say this for a ton of other artists, but like I personally 100% will find time to like sit down for coffee with somebody who wants to know more about something, whether it's music related, photography related, whatever it is. And I just hope that other people do that for others too, right? Because you never know. Like I sent this one email now, and now this woman is like one of the most important people in my photography journey, and a dear friend. So I want to like soapbox anytime I can about just like putting yourself out there in a way that's safe. Obviously, don't just go emailing random strangers. Like have a plan, but know your worth, get out there, and then also help anybody else that wants help or needs help. I want to soapbox that.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Love it. OwenLeavey.com.
Yeah.
We're going to push that. We're also going to mention both your Instagram accounts, which is also conveniently Owen Leavey.
Yes.
Once again, OwenLeavey.
Yeah.
I think I spelled it before, but either way.
Yeah.
And MOMDAD Band is the slug for both Bandcamp and Instagram.
Yeah.
Nice marketing technique.
Thank you.
Keep them same.
We managed to get MOMDAD Band for Instagram, and I was like, we'll keep it.
Forever.
Yeah. 100%.
Awesome.
No selling it.
And you also have the Linktree.
Yeah.
linktr.ee / MOMDAD Band.
Yeah.
Which is a little confusing.
Yes.
But all of this will also be linked on the show notes page,
Amazing.
along with some of your photography, as well as links to the band's
Sweet.
newly released album, which I'm so excited about. And that's going to be at vermonttalks.com/73 for this one. And I think we're going to call it.
Amazing.
Thank you so much,
You're the
Owen.
best.
Really fun conversation. And thank you all for listening, everybody.
Thanks so much for listening to the end of the show. Subscribe to Vermont Talks on your favorite podcasting platform. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all over the web. Contact Becca at vermonttalks.com if you'd like to be interviewed or if you know someone who should be. Thanks so much to Jason Baker for creating the show music. The views and opinions expressed by the guests are those of the individuals and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Vermont Talks. Any content or statements provided by our guests are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, anyone, or anything. And that's what was new in the 802. Have a great day.